What's up guys, Phil here today with another video, and today I'll be talking about that PlayStation 5 teardown video. So we saw how it is on the inside. Now what's very interesting about it is how easily accessible the inside of the PlayStation is compared to that of the Xbox Series X or any Xbox Series. I don't think they want you to open it or to get inside of it. If something breaks, you can open it yourself and replace it, but I don't think that for the ordinary consumer, if their Blu-ray drive breaks or if their power supply stops working, they are gonna decide to open their PlayStation 5 themselves. So it was just interesting to see how easily accessible the PlayStation 5 is if you are very brave, because there are a lot of panels you have to get through to get to the actual guts and the inside of the PlayStation. But on the other hand, we did get to see how it operates on the inside. So on the front of the PlayStation 5, we have a USB Type-C, high-speed USB Type-C, 10 gigabits per second, then a regular high-speed USB Type-A port. So nothing special. Around the back, you got some super speed USB 3 Type-A ports, so those are 10 gigabits per second. Next, there's obviously an Ethernet jack. Whether it's 10 gigabit Ethernet or 1 gigabit Ethernet, they did not really specify. After that is the HDMI port and the AC power in. Now after that, what I'd like to talk about is also how kind of cool the stand for the PlayStation 5 is. I know it's just a stand, but it's actually pretty cool. So then you just unscrew it at the bottom and then you take it off, and then there's actually a little slot inside the bottom of the stand where you put the little screw there, and then where that screw also sits, there's this little cap that you use to cover up where you connect the stand on the bottom. Then you twist the stand and it hides the screw. After that, you can either put the stand away or you can connect it to the bottom faceplate of the PlayStation 5 and use it to slot it horizontally, which is actually pretty cool. Now, the next thing I would like to talk about is the white panels on the side of the PlayStation 5, but those two panels on the side are removable, which in my mind created a whole bunch of possibilities where maybe there might be a chance that third parties may be able to like design faceplates for the PlayStation 5. So if you're tired of your white faceplates, you can go buy other faceplates, you know, mix and match, probably make a custom design, take the faceplate off yourself and probably do something to it, spray paint it, draw something on it. The possibilities are endless. The creative possibilities and the imaginative things that you could do to that faceplate, it's unimaginable. I'm getting excited over a faceplate. Next thing that I'd like to move on to about that PlayStation 5 breakdown is that after the faceplate, there's actually a little slot there for the SSD. Now, it's a very small slot. It does not take normal SATA SSD drives. It takes NVMe SSDs and NVMe PCIe Gen 4 SSDs for those super fast speeds, so you'll be able to load up your huge expansive game. I hope Red Dead Redemption 2 gets remastered for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, because I want to relive that beautiful game in 4K at 60 frames per second, because Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the greatest games, if not the greatest game of all time. But I digress. But yes, there's a slot there. You can take off that faceplate and install your own SSD. PCIe Gen 4, you gotta remember that, unless Sony will sell their own PCIe Gen 4 SSDs, or they'll partner up with other manufacturers like Seagate or Western Digital. I do not know at all. But yes, there's that. And then we also see the fan in the middle of the PlayStation 5. And then after that, it also shows the person taking out the 4K Blu-ray drive. If that ever breaks and you feel brave enough, open it up, replace it yourself. So that's also the point of this video, to show how accessible and replaceable and user-friendly the PlayStation 5 is. So after that, we get to see the actual motherboard of the PlayStation 5. So you get to see the APU, the SSD and the SSD controllers, as well as the 16 gigs of GDDR6 RAM. Now, the interesting part is how this thing is cooled. Now, what they use to cool down the CPU is actually liquid metal. Now, there were rumors that the PlayStation 5 was going to use liquid metal to cool its APU. Rumors. People did not actually think that they were going to use liquid metal. Now, the very interesting thing about this is that they are using liquid metal in a consumer grade product. Something that you and I can walk into a shop and buy. Something that you and I can go online, click on order, and wait a few days or a week for it to arrive at our house. A consumer grade product that is easily accessible to everyone. That is nuts, because liquid metal is not something commonly found in consumer grade products. It is used in like data centers, servers. So that is actually pretty cool, which will also mean that the PlayStation 5 might run very, very cool and silent. Much more silent than the PlayStation 4. Like, the PlayStation 4 is a jet turbine. When I fire up a game like GTA 5 or Ghost of Tsushima or The Last of Us Part 2, it's like I live next to Oratambo International Airport, because that thing is so loud, yet it's sitting like a meter away from me. Now I'd like to move on to the last thing, which is the Gigantic Heatsink. This thing is gigantic. It is really, really huge. It's bigger than the one on the Xbox Series X, which means the PlayStation 5 should run very cool and very silent. But because of the liquid metal that they're using to cool the APU and the gigantic heatsink, this thing is gonna run much cooler and run much quieter. And the last thing that they showed us in this breakdown was the power supply. So back to my main point, they wanted to show you how easily accessible the PlayStation 5 is. So if something ever breaks, you could possibly repair it yourself if you feel like doing so. Let's be honest, the only things that are replaceable in the PlayStation 5, if they do malfunction or not work or break, are the disk drive and the power supply. And those are quite a mission to get to, but they're showing you, hey, it's possible. We're not stopping you at all. They're basically trying to show how user-friendly it is, how easy it is to get into it, if you are willing to risk avoiding your warranty. So yeah, that was my take on the PlayStation 5 Teardown. Emphasis on that liquid metal and that gigantic heatsink. It is like 2 times bigger than the one on the Xbox Series X. But yeah, that is what we got. And yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching, and thank you all for sticking to the end. If you guys are feeling like it, leave a like down below. If you like the content that I make, please subscribe. It'll mean a lot. But thank you all for watching. Thank you all for sticking to the end, and peace.